This week on the Weekly Spark, we're going to talk about sellers that are turning into landlords and how you as the agent can partner with us as the lender and show your seller a different way of selling the house so that they can actually offload the property instead of having to change toilets in the middle of the night. Next, we're talking about the condo requirements that have been eased by Fannie Mae. Great things for you, and some single family home advantages in there as well. And then lastly, we'll talk about the peace plan that hopefully is coming across and going to help us out with mortgage interest rates.
Welcome to the Weekly Spark, your fast 5-minute flash of insight into the world of mortgage and real estate. Every week, we're here to ignite your understanding of the market, from mortgage rates and housing trends to legislative updates and insider strategies. So let's strike the match and spark your week. This is the Weekly Spark.
What's up? It is the last week of March for our Weekly Spark. Jason, let's jump right in. How you doing, buddy?
Do it.
All right. So this week we've got sellers becoming landlords. Let's talk some strategies. So as a recent Zillow report came out that 2.3% of recent home sellers are actually taking their homes off the market and listing them for rent, which is up considerably higher than it has been. Jason, what kind of strategies do we have to help get these listings sold so these landlords don't flip on our agents?
Yeah, so one of the great strategies, Ryan, that we've been using and been very, very successful with is the payment subsidy or the Buydown program. And basically what that is, and this is great for real estate agents, if you've got a listing, for example, that's just been stagnant on the market, it's not getting a lot of movement, instead of reducing that sales price, we can keep that there and offer the buyer some credits. And with those credits, we can buy down the rate as much as 3 points, depending on how much credit you have. So we have a great calculator to help you guys figure that out. But imagine this, let's say the average interest rates right now are 6.5, and that's about where they're trading right now. Imagine if we can offer the buyer a 3.5 the first year, followed by a 4.5, a 5.5, and then a 6.5. It's a great way to help not only the buyer, but it helps you as the realtor because you get to keep that full listing commission, and it also helps the seller move that house. So it's one of the great strategies that we can use here at Creative First Mortgage to help you sell those houses.
Yeah, that's some significant monthly payment savings for that buyer over the course of those first 3 years as well. Awesome. So this one is the condo requirements easing. So Fannie Mae released something over the last week or so. I'm going to kind of tie it to condos, but they also did some for single family homes, and it's easing of property insurance requirements. So in the past, when a roof was being insured, they would have to insure it for the replacement cost. And that can really take the price of insurance way up, because sometimes you're getting into these older roofs and really, we all know how expensive it is to replace a roof, and people just don't do it. And so then when they sell their house, they don't want to replace it. So the great thing here is that we're able to actually document actual cash value of what the current roof is, which will lower those insurance premiums significantly. And it also applies, like I mentioned, to the condos. It eases it with the condos because the master insurance policy, as we know, especially in Florida, a lot of these HOAs are insufficient in their coverage. And so we just can't get deals closed in those condos. There's a lot of other opportunities here. And Fannie Mae rolled out 5 or 6 other updates. So if you're interested in condos, if that's something you're working with, we've got a lot of updates. Reach out. We'll get you the information. So the following one here, this one may be the most important of all three, right? We've got a peace plan imminent. I know they rolled out some topics here. So what do we got, Jason?
Yeah, so they call it the 15-point peace plan. It was actually delivered by Pakistan. So U.S. came out with this peace plan and essentially just says, listen, we want to get this we want to get this thing resolved. Obviously everybody is pushing for a resolution for peace, and who knows? I mean, one of the big things, Ryan, is they're saying is, hey, listen, Iran is no longer to ever have nuclear capabilities. I think they've been talking about this for about 50 years now. Who knows if they're going to follow the plan? But the good news is the market is acting positively today. And the reality is we really need to dial back this volatility and this economic uncertainty, because, we see the stock market is, kind of haywire. We've got crypto down big time, and the bond market doesn't know which direction to go. We'd love it to continue to get positive so we can see lower rates, Rates are still in the low to mid sixes in a lot of cases, but let's see how it works out, Ryan. Hopefully we can get this thing buttoned up and get back to peace.
Yeah, I'm ready for a nice upswing or downswing, I guess, in rates, upswing in MBS, because I've been finally had some people reach out for refinances. Like, I might have missed the boat on this time around. So, the lesson there is take the cookies as they're passed across the table for you. If you get a rate that you like, lock it in and roll. And 6 to 12 months from now, if you can refi and get a lower rate, the opportunity will be there. So awesome. That was a great couple topics there, Jason. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you on the next one.
That's a wrap for this week's edition of the Weekly Spark, brought to you by Creative First Mortgage. If you've got questions or want us to cover something next week, please let us know, shoot us a message, and until then, keep your deals moving and keep your week lit. See you next time.